3 races are down, just 5 remain in the inaugural season of the Power V8 Cup Series Championship Gauntlet. Hello everyone and welcome back to some more V8 Cup Series action. Today we are live from the Denver Motorsports Park for the Ridge Wallet 400 at the Roval. It's going to be an exciting event today here in Denver, Colorado. 20 laps to decide who is going to take home the victory in today's race. We'll have a lot going into it for our event, so let's get down trackside for the latest headlines going into today's race. We're seeing some pretty low temperatures in Aurora, Colorado, but that does not mean the Championship Gauntlet battle isn't heating up for today's race. Good bit of some Gauntlet contenders going to be starting towards the front of the field, and a good bit also very close within the tight race for the championship. Let's go ahead and take a look at how these standings are heating up. Coming off of a second place finish at Bristol, Ethan Hayden is going to be our new points leader. Once again, each race we've had a different points leader so far. Hayden holds just a 1-point lead over the likes of Christian Russell, a 4-point lead over Roberto Crown Jr., and a 5-point lead over Chris White. So incredibly tight and close to C for our leader. I believe Hayden will be starting a little bit towards mid-pack in today's race, while others like Brett Bishop starting at 3rd, Crown Jr. starting just shortly behind him in the 6th position, and Seishin Tomioka just outside the top 10 as well. Some good Gauntlet drivers starting up towards the front. Speaking of Tomioka, he is tied with Brett Bishop with 216 points, just 10 points off of Ethan Hayden. So 10 points only separates 1st through 6th. Justin Henley is about 16 points away in the 7th position after getting his first points at Bristol last week. And James Fletcher as well, an 11th place finish, good enough to get him 6 points. He is able to get the 8th place position in the Gauntlet standings. And Owen Scott right now going to have some work to do, as he only has so far scored 1 point in the entire Gauntlet. The opening round at Watkins Glen unfortunately suffered huge disappointments at Indianapolis and Bristol after they look to be promising for him. So it's going to be incredibly difficult for Owen Scott. He's going to need to be able to make something happen if he still wants a chance at winning this championship. And a driver who, in the same boat as him, Ruben Gonzalez, the only Gauntlet driver yet to score a single point so far in the opening 3 rounds. We'll see if that will change for the young driver, but not sure if that will turn out in his favor. We'll just have to wait and see. Still a lot of time left, 5 races to be determined, including today's, but it's definitely starting to appear evident who our main contenders are, and I think after this race we're going to have a really good idea as to see who the guys for the heavy hitters for the championship, and you know, who's going to have a realistic chance of winning and taking it all. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the starting lineup for today's race, the Ridge Wallet 400 at the Denver Roval, and take a look at how the qualifying shaped up. Total of 49 cars entered for today's race, 42 make it in as always, so we had a total of 7 drivers who will go home without a chance of even getting some points. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. secures his 2nd pole of the year. He's had an up and down season, having about 4 DNQs so far, but since the last stretch of races, he's really put himself together and has secured a good bit of some strong runs. He's going to look to replicate that here today. He'll be starting in the 1st position. Outside of him is John McFadden rolling off P2. Brett Bishop is the highest Gauntlet driver that qualified up at the front so far, and he's going to look to try to take the points lead today and set himself up for the next coming races, setting himself up in a good position. John Ritson will roll off in the 4th spot. Arvin Basic will line up on the inside of row 3, and just to his outside, another Gauntlet contender, Roberto Crown Jr., will roll off in that 6th position. Roger James and JQ Halleck will make up row 4, and Blake Parker and Cam Wright Sr. will round out the top 10. Michael Canaday, another one of his part-time starts before he goes full-time next year, will start in P11. Outside of him, Gauntlet contender Seishin Tomioka lines up in the 12th spot. Row 7 will see Dylan Hayden and Weston Roper. And in row 8 we'll have Alexander Rowe and Solomon Sheridan. Row 9, two Gauntlet contenders, Owen Scott and Justin Henley, will make up P17 and P18. A little bit of work to get to the points, but not too much in their way. Jeff Bolton and Herbert Oakes III will round out the top 20. Then just outside the top 20, we will see David Dixon and Kenneth Williams. Williams making his final start of the season. Alrighty Alejo and Priya McShane will make up row 12. And in row 13, we'll see Carl Untesweffer and Nelson Reeves. Row 14 will see the return of Landon Laudenbach making his first race since the fourth race of the season after he got dropped by Double or Nothing Motorsports. This is actually the first race for Adam Wilson's new team, A3 Scarlet Motorsports. They will be running full-time next year with Laudenbach in the 90 car, but they're going to get some part-time starts before the end of the year with both Laudenbach and Alexander Rowe. Rowe stepping in their car starting at the next race at New Jersey. Outside of Laudenbach, we will see Miles Mashburn. And rounding out the top 30, we'll have Adam Wilson and Leland Hill. Just outside the top 30, we'll see two Gauntlet contenders, Ruben Gonzalez and Ethan Hayden. Hayden, our points leader, going to have to make up some work if he wants to be able to continue to build upon his lead, especially when you consider Brett Bishop starting P3, Roberto Crown Jr. starting P6. If he doesn't get any points, it's going to look very likely that he will lose that points lead after today's race. And just behind him, we'll see Devon Fair and Cody Goforth. And Riley Hill and Zachary DeLello will make up 35th and 36th. Then in row 19, we will see Josh Moore and Ben Crouch. Following another set of Gauntlet contenders rounding out the top 40, James Fletcher and Christian Russell. Everyone from 39th on, Fletcher had to use their top 15 provisional in order to make it in today's race. As those who would just make it in include the likes of Christian Vargas and our last Gauntlet contender, Chris White, the final of those to make it into today's race. Those who would fail to qualify would include the likes of Nick Kennedy, Adrian Rojas, Boston Jones, Mitchell Collins, Myron Felder, Ronnie Martin, and Dale Cole Jr. Some pretty big guys going out there, some pretty fast guys, especially on the road courses we typically see, unfortunately not making it in today's event. And now, let's go trackside for the command for the Ridge Wallet 400 at the Denver Roval.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right, 42 engines are alive and away. We are about to get set here. A very long pace lap awaits us here at the Denver Roval. We are going to have a 20 lap race for today's event. That will be the distance. Pit window is looking to be around that 15 to 20 laps. It's expected that as long as some drivers can save just a little bit of fuel and manage it, they should be able to make it all the way, but it could possibly be a factor. We may see some drivers come down pit road, but if we do get a caution or two, more than likely these drivers will not have to pit at some point during the race. It is a very chilly day here in Aurora, Colorado, 61 degrees Fahrenheit to be exact, with the wind coming in at a blistering 17 miles per hour from the northwest direction. Take a look at our Gauntlet contenders for today, see where everyone is going to be starting. Brett Bishop is the highest of our 10, starting off in the 3rd position. Roberto Crown Jr. just shortly behind him in the 6th spot. Then we'll also see the likes of Seishin Tomioka within the 13th spot, as he will be the last of those, the Gauntlet contenders, to start within the top 10. Just outside the top 15, excuse me, just outside those point spots include the likes of Owen Scott and Justin Henley, and then we'll also see some others, including Ruben Gonzalez, Ethan Hayden, starting deep in the field. And even deeper behind them, we'll have James Fletcher, Christian Russell, and Chris White. Once again, starting in that 42nd position, White has not been able to qualify well during these Gauntlet races. He's basically only been able to even make it in the race in the first place just because of his provisional with the top 15 in points. Him being in the Gauntlet, it automatically locks him into every single race. So because of that, he basically, that's pretty much the only reason why he's been able to make the races. If he didn't have that provisional, he would have DNQ'd a bunch of other races. So Chris White, if he wants to be able to improve upon his gauntlet hopes, especially considering he's still close in contention, he's going to need to improve upon his qualifying woes and find a way to get up to the front earlier on in the races, as he has a long uphill battle to go from here in order to make it. Right now, as we're about to get set, 42 cars ready to go, 20 laps here at the Roval. It's going to be very, very exciting to see who will take the victory and who will still hold on to the points lead at the end of this race. Brett Bishop, Roberto Crown Jr., Seishin Tomioka looking to set themselves prime and try to make a statement. Cars come out of the final chicane here, and we are about to get set and get green here at the Denver Roval. Green flag is out for the 4th race of the gauntlet. Trouble already, a huge crash. Jeff Bolton collects a numerous amount of cars. That is going to bring the yellow out. We'll see them race back to the line though. John McFadden currently holds the top spot, as right now you're seeing here though Zachary Fitzwater still battling him back on the inside, trying to retake the lead. These cars going to drive very hard with each other. Incredibly hectic first laps here. We'll see him though coming around this long swooping corner into the chicane. This is going to be a very treacherous spot. We'll see if anyone goes 3 wide through here. Bishop thought about it, but he backs out. Roberto Crown Jr. able to make up some spots. See if anybody goes off through the chicane. Doesn't look like it for the time being. Looks like they are going to... Oh, actually, Roberto Crown Jr. does go off the track. He's got some damage. That has some heavy implications, as he was in front of Brett Bishop, but he's not anymore. See if they continue to make it through just fine. Lots of chaos throughout the pack here on this opening lap. But meanwhile, up at the front, John McFadden able to take the lead and take poise out in front, as we are seeing right now a hectic first lap. Seishin Tomioka trying to get around Roberto Crown Jr. inside of the points. Tomioka trying to take advantage of the woes of the 21. But meanwhile, up at the front, John McFadden in control, and it looks like he is going to come around the carousel and lead us back to the yellow. A crazy first lap, a huge wreck involving a good bit of the pack, some playoff contenders, as we are definitely going to have to see what happened to Jeff Bolton there, see if anyone else comes through as they all come across the line. Lots of cars with damage, though. Bolton, Rowe, Owen Scott involved heavily. Herbert Oakes, Justin Henley. Looks like his day is not going to improve, so many a cars going to suffer. We'll go ahead and get a replay, see exactly what happened. Go ahead and take a look here exactly what happened to Jeff Bolton on the initial start. I think he's going to get clipped here by David Dixon. And yep, Dixon going to come down and clip him, and that's exactly why Bolton went to the apron and came back up the track on a weird angle. Takes a good bit of cars out, about 5 to be exact. Herbert Oakes involved, Alexander Rowe with a lot of damage. Many a car is caught up in that one. Another angle of the initial start here. You're going to see the 34 Jeff Bolton get clipped by the 45 of David Dixon. And that is going to cause chaos, as you'll see here in the opening start. It'll cause Bolton to come back up the track and into about 5 other cars. Into Owen Scott, Justin Henley, 2 of our Championship Gauntlet contenders are involved with heavy damage. Go on board with Jeff Bolton. Take a look at his restart. Very heavy hits. Now we'll also get a look here, see exactly what happened to Roberto Crown Jr. Looks like he's going to get involved in the S's somehow. Oh, looks like Brett Bishop going to plow into the rear of the 21, send him off the track. Luckily, Crown Jr. was able to keep it going, but that is definitely not going to help him out in his race. Causes a lot of rear end damage to that 21 car. Take another look here as you'll see Roberto Crown Jr. going to get run into by Brett Bishop. Bishop enters the S's just a little bit better than Crown Jr. and Jr.'s going to intersect into his line. And that just causes Bishop to just run into the back of the 21 car, cause him a good bit of damage to that rear bumper. And then shortly behind, some more chaos. You're going to see Adam Wilson here get clipped by, I believe, the 26 of Ruben Gonzalez. No, it's actually going to be the 19 of Ethan Hayden. Hayden's going to get into the rear of the 00 and just hook him. Fortunately got on him and had nowhere else to go. So a unfortunate incidental spin for the 00 into the inside wall. Take one more look here at the opening crash that's going to bring us under the yellow. David Dixon going to clip Jeff Bolton, and Bolton going to come back up the track, cause a 6-car pileup into the outside wall, taking out 2 of our gauntlet contenders in Owen Scott and Justin Henley. Very heavy hits here. As we will be right back after this.
The Life Invader tablet.
It's time to dock.
The future is now. Life Invader, the social networking site, announces its new tablet. It's not
Technology.
It's your life.
Technology.
Live it the way you want. With a device that tells you what to do.
It's time to dock.
The Life Invader tablet.
Invasion never felt so good.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Denver Motorsports Park. We are under caution on lap 3, about ready to get restarted on lap 4 due to the lap 1 incident that involved the likes of Solomon Sheridan, Owen Scott, Jeff Bolton, Herbert Oaks III, David Dixon, Justin Henley, and Alexander Rowe. Herbert Oaks and Justin Henley are unfortunately going to be out of the race. Then we saw some separate incidents. Brett Bishop got into the 21 of Roberto Crown Jr. as well. And Adam Wilson got dumped by the 19 of Ethan Hayden. So lots of action going on around the track on the track on the very first lap. We'll see if we can make it on this restart. Go back green here pretty soon. John McFadden was able to take the lead from Zachary Fitzwater on the opening lap. We'll see if Fitzwater will be able to get back at him. Coming through the final chicane, cars get going on the restart zone. And John McFadden will lead us back down to the green. Green flag is back in the air here at Denver. Cars already looking to make their move, going to the inside and outside. Ritson and Fitzwater trying to plan their attack. And we're already seeing 3 wide for 5th between the likes of Cam Wright Sr., JQ Halleck, and the 12 of Brett Bishop. Coming up the track, Ritson looking to attack for that second position on Zachary Fitzwater. John McFadden trying to hold on to the lead, and he's going to be able to do so coming into this next set of corners. Cars all piling into the set of hairpins here. Coming through this long sweeping set of sections, John Ritson able to clear Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater really not having a good restart. He got passed by Arvin Basic as well. 2 of the 3 Good Smile Racing Mercedes up into the top 3 is now Fitzwater trying to fight back on the 44 Basic. He's going to go on the outside of the chicane, though. This is a danger spot. Got to be careful on how your car handles. And if you go 3 wide here, it's pretty much a death sentence. But it looks like our field is going to make it through just fine. Ooh, a little contact here. Landon Lauterbach getting right on the rear of Kenneth Williams. But meanwhile, back up front right now, Roberto Crown Jr. getting pushed around by his own driver in Dylan Hayden. And Zachary Fitzwater able to fight back on the 44 of Arvin Basic. Meanwhile, Brett Bishop, since he hit Roberto Crown Jr., has a little bit of front-end damage to his car. But hopefully that won't slow him down too much. Currently, he sits in the 5th position. John Ritson trying to set his sights on the 89 of John McFadden, see if he could chase him down. Right now, McFadden putting a decent distance between himself and Ritson. Brett Bishop, though, close to the rear of Arvin Basic. Bishop trying to get as many spots as he possibly can. And JQ Halleck as well, trying to put together some strong runs. She's been running pretty consistently as of late, coming ahead of her move to Sinclair Canada Racing for next season. So she's looking to build some good momentum for her campaign next year. But right now, meanwhile, Bishop and Arvin Basic battling hard with each other. Halleck trying to stay within, and Cam Wright Sr. also keeping them in check as well. Michael Canaday lurking in the top 10 right now in the 8th position. David Dixon sits at 9th, and Seishin Tomioka rounds out our top 10. Halleck, though, facing some pressure from Cam Wright Sr. Sr. going to get around the 13, not just yet. Yep, she's got him cleared. So now that will be the 6th spot for Cam Wright Sr. He says, thank you very much for that. But hold on just a minute. JQ Halleck going to try to fight back for the spot. She's trying to inch her way towards up the track more and more, but just doesn't have enough drive off as that 88 does. The 59 starting to close in on the 17. Fitzwater trying to get some spots back. Like we said, 2nd pole of the year for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. His first, though, didn't go so well at Martinsville. Got into the wall and fell all the way back to a 19th place finish outside of the points. So Fitzwater trying to do the exact opposite of that. Otherwise, he's trying to capitalize improve on a 2-time second best, or best finished of 2nd, excuse me. So Zachary Fitzwater, he's been through some up and downs, but he's genuinely ran pretty consistent when he has had some good runs. Otherwise than that, he's finally been able to improve upon his qualifying woes, and I believe he's actually finally within the top 15 in the points. So now he'll actually be locked into each and every single race. So Zachary Fitzwater has done an incredible job turning his season around, improving upon his qualifying woes, not letting it overcome him, and I think it's going to translate to some really good success leading into next season for his team. Right now, though, Brett Bishop trying to close in on the 44 of Arvin Basic. Bishop is the highest running gauntlet contender at the moment. John McFadden running up front, showing that the pole position racing Toyotas are very strong. You're seeing this 89 Toyota right now running up front, just about a second ahead of John Ritson, putting himself a very sizable gap between those two drivers. And just earlier on, a couple races ago at Indianapolis, we saw Alexander Rowe steal the win. So pole position racing looking to set themselves up next year to be a very strong team, even though they're just a one-car team. Is still no idea who is going to drive for that team next year, as both McFadden and Alexander Rowe already known to have full-time rides for next season in the V8 Cup Series, and both of them are not with pole position racing. So looks like that team will have to bring in an all-new driver, unless well, Reeves, we already know, is going to come back to Fitzwater Australia Racing. So it'll have to be an all-new driver in that seat next year. We'll see what they can do with it, as it looks to be some pretty decent equipment. Fitzwater, though, trying to reel back in John Ritson and the Good Smile Racing Mercedes. They are running pretty strong on the road courses right now, 2nd and 4th. And Zachary DeLello is currently in 27th. That's the 3rd Good Smile Racing Mercedes. But right now, Bishop, while he tried to attack Basic, now faces some pressure from Cam Wright Sr. as Fitzwater tries to get it a good run coming into turn 3 and into 4 as they come into the chicane. Right now, it's John McFadden's race to lose. He is out in front and in control. A good single file line makes up a good bit of the field as they come around through the final chicane to take lap 7, getting close to the halfway mark of this race. Take a look through the field. Tomioka still holds on to that 10th spot, while Roberto Crown Jr. takes the 11th position. Just behind him looks like Blake Parker in 12th. And then we've got Roger James in the 13th spot, followed by Dylan Hayden in 14th, and Weston Roper hangs on to the last remaining points position. See here, though, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. trying to get up to John Ritson. Looks like they might be closing in just a little bit to John McFadden's gap. Not too much, though, as we are seeing here. Cam Wright Sr., though, definitely looks like he's going to be able to make a move on the 12 of Brett Bishop. I really do think he will have a shot at getting around him here soon. He definitely appears to have a slightly faster car than the 12, especially considering the front end damage of the 12 of Brett Bishop. Right now, still hanging on to a good haul of points. It could be potentially good enough to take the gauntlet lead, considering that he is only 10 points back off of first place. And while Roberto Crown Jr. is getting some points, I believe only 6 right now at the time being, and Seishin Tomioka getting just about 8. I think Brett Bishop in that 5th spot, which should be about 18 if I'm correct, would be just enough to get ahead into the points lead if he was to finish here. But again, there's still a good bit of racing to here as well. You're going to come around to 13 to go next time by, and he is facing a good bit of pressure from the likes of Cam Wright Sr., potentially JQ Hallett could be in a play, and Michael Canaday also looking to be someone you do not want to count out for the top 5. John Ritson starting to peel into that gap a little bit. He appears to be closer to the 89 this lap than he was the last lap, and is definitely further away from the 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. As we see now, the timings will update. Yep, he's got about a quarter of a second into that gap on John McFadden. We'll see if McFadden's car starts to come away from him or not, as the 17 of John Ritson tries to peel ahead into pursuit. He's starting to pull away from the 59. As seen here now, the 88 starting to back off the 12 a little bit here. Might fall into the laps of the 13 and the 31. Canada got a really good run into the corner. Actually, these four have been really interesting to watch, and it's definitely something you want to look out for, is Halleck trying to look to make a move. And it's looking like JQ Halleck coming in to the inside, putting some pressure on the 88 of Cam Wright Sr. Down the chicane they go. Halleck trying to get around the 88, trying to set herself up a really good move, as it might look to be Halleck going to try to get herself back into that 6th position. Cam Wright was able to get around her early in the race, but it's looking like she's coming back into his clutches now. So right now, as we're seeing here, John Ritson still trying to get back into the 89. Looks like these drivers just trying to put their heads down and get themselves some good laps, get themselves back into the clutches of the leader here. So we're seeing some good road course racing. See here, John Ritson, though, coming in. Looking like Fitzwater starting to close that gap up just a slight bit, but not too much here, as these guys are going to come back around. Top 8 within 3 seconds, and then David Dixon. Oh, it's actually looking like here some happened to Seishin Tomioka. We've got some pit stops. That's what happened. Some drivers coming down pit road. Tomioka was one of them. Blake Parker, another one. So pit stops could still be a factor with how long this run has been going here for the green flags. Right now, Roberto Crown Jr. gets himself back into the top 10, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Some drivers are appearing to pit. Right now, as we take a look through the field, just some single file racing throughout most of the pack. We see a battle here between two of the Robbers racing cars, Josh Moore and Miles Mashburn. It is not appearing that both of these drivers will most likely be back on the V8 Cup paddock next year. Seems like Miles Mashburn, we already know he's selling the team off, and Josh Moore doesn't appear like he's actually found himself a ride and is planning to come back to the series. So looking to be some of the final races for these two, and we'll see them battle it out. And two really good drivers we had in the series, some ups and downs they've gone through. They've shown a lot of flashes of some potential, though. Unfortunately, we will not get to see them build upon that coming up for next season. But right now, as it sits, McFadden just holding over the lead on John Ritson. It really does look like Ritson's starting to gain more and more each lap, as we are coming up on the halfway mark of this race here. Arvin Basic looking to fall under pressure to Brett Bishop as well. He could potentially lose out on a spot. We'll take a look at the timing, though. It looks like Ritson is gained in just about another 2/10. Yep, Ritson is definitely closing in, so we'll have to keep an eye on that number 17 Mercedes. Ritson hasn't had the best of seasons, and has announced that he's at least not going to drive for his own team next year. Zachary DeLello is going to drive his one car for next season full-time. He's trying to get another car, I believe, but right now doesn't have one. Ritson looking to the inside of John McFadden. This could get very interesting here, as now we're starting to see Ritson close in on the 89. He's taking a little bit of a different line, trying to find some more grip around the track, and it appears to be working. Fitzwater is closing in as well. So hold your breath here. We saw him single file for a good bit, but now they're looking to get racy. Here comes Ritson to the inside of John McFadden, trying to get to the lead. He stuck the nose in there, but just didn't have enough to get around him. Through the S's they go, though. We'll see if he can get a better run out of it, and it appears that he does. He's closing into the rear of this pole position racing Toyota. through this swooping right-hander. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater gaining in on the leaders as well. We may see a three-way battle for the lead here. This is definitely some fun stuff to watch as John McFadden making it happen, but he is definitely under some pressure. John Ritson has said, you got to lead the first half of the race, but I want to lead the second half now. As these three now going to look to battle it out. It may even lead to these top five between Arvin Basic and Brett Bishop get in the mix. And, you know, you definitely got to watch out for these guys. A lot of talented road course racers within this top five, obviously. McFadden showing his strengths here, but Ritson has shown to be good on the road courses. Zachary Fitzwater, very good on the road courses. His best finish as second came at Golden State, and he's run very well at most of the road courses this season. Arvin Basic won at Golden State, and Brett Bishop has shown some muscle on some of the road course races as well. So there's a lot of talent within this top five. They know how to get it done, but the caution is out. Caution's come out here on lap 11 just when it was starting to get good. Not sure where exactly it happened, but we will get a replay here. That is definitely going to shake up things as we got the caution here on lap 11. We'll go ahead and take a replay, see exactly what happened to bring it out. Some more troubles with some gauntlet contenders. Zachary DeLello going to get dumped by the 25 of James Fletcher. Fletcher gets a good run off of the corner and just gets into the corner panel, just like how Ethan Hayden got into the double zero of Adam Wilson. He's going to spin out Zachary DeLello. Then almost hits the 10 of Solomon Sheridan. Luckily for DeLello, though, he did not hit the wall, so he's going to be able to keep going after that. Pretty senseless spin here. James Fletcher going to get in a little bit too deep, trying to make something happen, get up to those points positions, and he unfortunately takes Zachary DeLello out in the process with him. As DeLello going to be able to keep going, though, keeps it off the wall, does a great job at least keeping control of the car and keeping it in one piece. But nonetheless, caution out here on lap 11.
Fly US, your business is important to us. That's why we treat you like shit. We know you have a choice when choosing an airline: awful, dreadful, or terrible. And we promise you, we're striving to be awful. Fly US. Sit back, relax, and shut up.
All right, welcome back everybody here to the Denver Motorsports Park under caution due to the very harmless spin between James Fletcher and Zachary DeLello. Both cars obviously going to be able to keep going as none of them hit anything. I'm just very amazed they even threw a caution out for that in the first place, to be honest. But hey, V8 Cup Series officials, I think there was some debris that spilled on the track, so that was probably the most likely the reason. Nonetheless, though, as soon as the good got going, we're going to get them all bunched up. As you see here, we're looking to have a good battle between the top three, but now we're definitely in for some good, as it's going to get down to the wire here, coming down to some of the final laps of this race. As we'll see now here, all these guys are within arm's reach of each other. John McFadden leads him through the chicane once again and is going to bring him back down to the green as we are set for the restart here at Denver. Ritson does not get as good of a jump here. So coming up now, just 8 laps to go on lap 13. It's a big stack up on Ritson. Fitzwater already going to look to the bottom of the 17. But that outside line is going to have a little bit of a better run on the restart. Basic going to get around the 59 for the third position. Looks like we're going to make it through pretty clean for the first couple of corners here. Brett Bishop almost getting pushed off the track here, 3 wide. As you're seeing Roberto Crown Jr. going for those positions, trying to get a hold of the Championship Gauntlet lead back. So we are seeing here now Crown Jr., though, not able to get as good of a run off. 3 wide between David Dixon, Weston Roper, and his team owner, Roger James. Some very intense racing. I'm not sure if they'll be able to hold it through the entire chicane like that. Priya McShane might have to back out, and she does not. She's holding it. They're still going to go. Will they be able to make it? Weston Roper, oh, they just hang on to it. That was some really close racing. 3 wide through the chicane. Never going to be easy. Meanwhile, though, some battling between Basic and Fitzwater. Fitzwater able to get the third spot back, and now he's going to try to go for second. Reeling in close on the 17. It looks like, oh, we've got another caution. Huge wreck. Blake Parker still wrecking some more. Vargas and Ben Crouch involved. Bolton was involved. Alexander Rowe out of the race. They're going to have to race back to the line. We're going to get another restart here. Cam Wright Sr. battling hard with the 12. as you see Brett Bishop trying to hold his own on the outside. Wright Sr., though, able to make the move stick, coming to the line. Ritson is trying to reel in the 89, but John McFadden is going to be able to hang on once again and bring us back to the line on lap 14. Caution is out for the third time today. We'll go ahead and get a replay here, see exactly what happened between these guys as Jeff Bolton losing more control of his car, trying to get into the pits. Here's a replay of what happened. Blake Parker going to get a little bit too deep on Alexander Rowe. He's got Jeff Bolton pressuring him as well. Rowe just going to clip, or Parker going to clip Rowe, excuse me, and collects Jeff Bolton along with him. Then Blake Parker going to come back up the track and collect the 03 and the 08 with him as well. Another look here as Blake Parker going to take out, pretty much get himself into 2 wrecks here with this one. Like we said, has a little bit of pressure from Bolton after going in the corner deep, gets under Rowe and just can't get out from under him, takes out Rowe and Bolton with him, then comes back up the track into the 03 and the 08, taking them out as well. So a 2-for-1 there, definitely a lot of chaos and carnage caused by the 07 of Blake Parker. Another look at Blake Parker just getting in way too deep here, as you'll see. Gets Jeff Bolton able to get the position under him, and then he just slightly gets into Alexander Rowe. Takes those 2 out. Rowe definitely going to be out of the race after this one. And then just gets right into the 03 and the 08. Definitely a lot of chaos caused by Blake Parker for sure. Go on board with Parker. See his path of destruction. My goodness. Take one more look at the set of accidents triggered by the 07 as he just gets into the corner way too deep. And is going to take out a good bit of cars with him. Takes out Rowe and Bolton here into the inside wall, and then comes back up to get Vargas and Crouch. We'll be right back after this.
Apocalypse is coming. Will it be aliens, zombies, or a global financial meltdown? Whatever it is, you need to be prepared.
Get your complete apocalypse kit at Ammunition. Contains foodstuffs and alcohol for 3 months. A massive array of armaments. Water purifier so you can drink your own urine. And cyanide pills so you can go out like a man. Don't dial 911, dial 357. Ammunition. Protecting your rights.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the Denver Motorsports Park. We are going to get restarted on lap 16, a 5-lap dash. Under caution due to the lap 13 crash involving the likes of Ben Crouch, Blake Parker, Christian Vargas, Jeff Bolton, and Alexander Rowe. Parker, the 34, Bolton, and Rowe are all going to be out of the race due to the damages they suffered. And a keynote, Nelson Reeves also going to be out of the race due to that giant stack-up that was just shown. Coming back to the caution. Some drivers with some heavy damage, but Reeves the only one to be known that'll be out of the race due to the stack up. The rest of those that are out of the race due to that lap 13 incident. Like we said, going to get restarted on lap 16. Just a 5-lap dash to the finish, as long as we can make it green to the end. John McFadden going to have a lot of pressure. John Ritson already moving him up the track. Ritson shoving him out of the way before we even get back to the restart zone. We'll see how McFadden handles this. Green flag back in the air. Ritson did not get a good start. McFadden looked to brake check him on purpose after that. And that's going to cause a massive stack up as now Ritson going to face some pressure from Fitzwater and Cam Wright Sr. Cam Wright Sr. pushing the 59 to Fitzwater. He's going to back off now. As we see here some support from John Ritson's GSR teammate, Arvin Basic, coming in to help. Coming into the corner. Here comes Ritson to the inside for the lead. John Ritson looking to the inside. Can he make the position stick? I think he's going to be able to. Yes, he can. Ritson moves himself up into P1. McFadden getting lots of trouble and pressure from the 44 and the 59 here. Arvin Basic trying to push him back. McFadden trying to go and get that position back from John Ritson. but Ritson has him clear going into the chicane. McFadden going to try to dive it in, as this is the first time he's had to be on the attack all day. See here if everyone made it through. Looks just about. Oh, maybe not. Riley Hill went off just a slight bit. Oh, and we got trouble. James Fletcher, another gauntlet contender involved. That will bring the caution back out. Race back to the line. Here comes John McFadden looking to the 17 of John Ritson. McFadden's got the inside. He may have the position. Can he make the move stick? Side by side for the lead. Coming across the corner, though, it's looking like Ritson is going to have the drive off. And I think John Ritson is going to be able to hold on to the lead. Racing back to the line for the caution. Ritson looking to hang on as long as he can make it through this last chicane. He does. John Ritson is going to take the lead for the first time today. And he will lead us back to the yellow. My goodness. What a race. Definitely some crazy developments here. And we'll most likely have a very short shootout to the finish. Take a look, see what happened to James Fletcher on that restart. Get a replay here, see what happens. Tomioka and Fletcher, two gauntlet contenders, battling it out hard. Fletcher dives it deep in the corner, and I think he's just going to lose. No, Riley Hill is going to get into him, actually. Hill goes too deep, sends him into the inside wall. Seen many incidents like that today. Tough luck for James Fletcher. He's not had much luck here in the playoffs so far. Sounds like some more crashing up ahead. Yes, oh, lots of wrecks here. Actually, we'll get a replay, see what happened here as well. Oh, just ahead, you'll see here 3 wide through the chicane between between Hayden, McShane, and then you're going to see here now Ethan Hayden gets to the inside of Priya McShane. Josh Moore just completely runs him over. And then Dylan Haynes sliding back up the track with nowhere to go. Goes back into Moore, into McShane. Many cars get involved behind them. Christian Vargas just wheeling it around everyone in the marbles. Wow. What a incident. Another replay of the racing here. You're going to see here Hayden, McShane, and James all going 3 wide through the S's. McShane going to back out. Causes a little bit of a stack up on Dylan Hayden. Josh Moore gets such a run out of the corner and gets right into the 48 of Ethan Hayden. Then just coming back up the track, Hayden, no control, McShane, nowhere to go. Lots of chaos and carnage involved in this wreck. Go on board with Dylan Hayden here, see his wild ride. My goodness. Very hard hits. Restarts here have been crazy for sure. Lots of chaos going on here. You're going to see James Fletcher get dumped by the 5 of Riley Hill right here. And then just ahead, the 48 of Dylan Hayden going to get himself involved in a lot of trouble as well. See here, Riley Hill goes to take out the 25. And just ahead here, the 48 gets himself taken out by the 3 of Josh Moore. Crazy chaos on this restart. Caution is out for the 4th time today.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars.
bad deals,
Cars that break down.
thieves,
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
you can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker.
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed.
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass.
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass.
Bring your tray.
Bring your title.
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her.
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing.
That's right.
Challenge pissing.
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait.
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off.
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off.
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check.
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker. motherfucker.
Go to hell.
Big Bill Hell's cars.
Baltimore's filthiest.
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
Guaranteed.
All right, everyone, we are back here at the Denver Motorsports Park here for the Ridge Wallet at the Roval 400. Absolutely chaotic race so far. The lap 16 restart led to a caution that involved the likes of Already Alejo, Josh Moore, Riley Hill, James Fletcher, Dylan Hayden, and Priya McShane. There was about 2 separate incidents there. All those drivers going to be able to continue on. We are set up with just 2 laps to go in this race. We are going to have a green-white checkered as long as we can make it there to the end. Next flag will decide the race. John Ritson was able to nab the lead from John McFadden right on that restart, right before the caution. He's got to hang on for just 2 more laps if he wants to be able to get his first career win. McFadden also looking for his first career win. And Arvin Basic could be there to spoil the party, looking to get his second. Remember, other key players, Brett Bishop here in 6th position, trying to go for the gauntlet lead. Roberto Crown Jr. in the top 10, trying to even out Brett Bishop and try to reclaim that lead. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see how this restart plays out. Through the chicane we go. Just 2 more times around the Roval. John Ritson leads us to the restart zone. Green flag is back out for the last time today. Restart is in the air. As we see now, the 89 of John McFadden gets a pretty decent start, keeping up with the 17. So does Arvin Basic, trying to help his team owner. Basic looking to the inside of McFadden, trying to hold him up. McFadden, though, able to hold off the 44, not able to hold up with the 17. Beating and banging between the 2 SCR Hondas. Candidate and David Dixon door slamming each other a little bit. Lots of good racing going around here. Fitzwater losing out some positions. JQ Halleck starting to make her move. She's trying to get on the move and get herself into the top 3. Basic looking to the inside of John McFadden. He's got a nose in there. He's trying to hold McFadden up so John Ritson can get his first career win. And it is working. McFadden putting a good bit of car lengths between himself and Ritson putting a good bit of car lengths between himself and McFadden. Through the S's. We'll see if they make it through. I think we're going to be clean this time. Yep, looks about good. No, it doesn't. David Dixon, Carl and Sweat from the wall. Do they collect more? Yes, they do. Oh, Ethan Hayden is involved. That will bring out the caution, I'm sure. No, we stay green. We amazingly stay green. Ritson able to hang out in front. As you're seeing here now, McFadden has lost a lot of time because of Arvin Basic holding him up. Huge wreck, though, taking out a good bit of drivers. Ruben Gonzalez looks to be in the points. He is in the points now. Good for Ruben, finally able to get himself some points here. Fitzwater taking some pressure. Some cars are coming down to pit road. The leaders have pitted with 1 to go. Are you kidding me? Arvin Basic and Fitzwater are going to stay out. Gonzalez stays out as well. So does Russell. Will they be able to make it to the end? Many of these cars having to pit. It is absolute chaos. Cars are wrecking on pit road. No, we are down to the white flag. Will Arvin Basic get his 2nd career win? This is absolute chaos. Do they have enough to make it? Fitzwater trying to chase down the 44. I cannot believe what is going on in this race. This is one of the wildest races of the season. We saw John Ritson. He was looking to take his first career win, but it's looking like Basic may get his 2nd. Hang on, though. Fitzwater is reeling him in. Basic really trying to fuel save here and make it to the end. I don't know if he has enough fuel. Zachary Fitzwater is closing in. He's on the chase. Can Fitzwater get his first career win? What a day that would be for Zachary Fitzwater. He does not want to be 2nd again. As right now, Basic looking to close in and just make it to the end of this race, getting back onto the oval section. Fitzwater diving to the inside, side by side, coming out of the corner. Can Fitzwater hold on? Some absolutely amazing racing here. Basic going to get a better exit out of the corner. Will they have to pit? I sure hope they wouldn't. That would be one weird way to lose the race. But here comes Basic now, coming down to the final chicane. He is going to be able to hang on. Arvin Basic is going to win at Denver in an absolutely chaotic fashion. My goodness, Gonzalez going to finish third. Russell fourth. Tomioka claims fifth. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I cannot believe what we've seen here today. Riley Hill somehow comes home sixth without an engine or a hood on his engine. McShane and Ben Crouch, despite all the wrecks, gets in the top 10. Miles Mashburn finishes in 10th. My goodness. See here. I do not know what is going on with Carl Entesweffer's car, but more cars coming across the line. I believe the last of the points is going to be Devon Fair. This is an absolutely wild race. I cannot believe the majority of the field had to pit on the very last lap. That was absolute chaos from start to finish. But Arvin Basic, for the second time this season, is going to go to victory lane. This time, though, not as dominating of a fashion. He may be out of fuel right now, actually. I don't think he's going to have enough to make it to the end. He's getting passed by everyone here. And I think, yeah, a lot of these guys who didn't pit, they are not able to make it to the end. That is how close they were. Just about half a lap was all of the difference. Half a lap's worth of fuel right there. You're seeing Fitzwater sputtering. Mashburn sputtering as well. Devon Fair is sputtering. There's just so much that has gone on into this race. This is one of the most wildest races we've seen all year. Definitely absolute chaos. Landon Laudenbach is out of fuel. Just absolute chaos here. I cannot believe this race. Once again, congratulations to Arvin Basic for the second time this season, playing an incredible pit strategy to go ahead and win on the road courses. All right, with the craziness of this race, Denver proving once again that it does not disappoint. A very key schedule, or a key mark on the schedule, no matter the oval or the roval, it will provide a lot of entertainment and action. Let's go ahead now and take a look at our finishing results. Arvin Basic able to steal his second win of the season. He only led one lap today, and that was the most important lap, the very last one, coming to the end. Zachary Fitzwater, I believe for the third time this season, finishes in that second place position. Still running very, very consistent, but I know he would have loved to have gotten a win here. We'll be happy though his own driver, Ruben Gonzalez, finishes in the third position, was able to manage the storm, navigate his way through the traffic, and played his strategy right, and was able to finish in the third position. A huge boost for Gonzalez is definitely something he needed, considering the first three races he failed to score any points. So definitely good to see him bring home a good haul coming into the second half of the gauntlet. Behind him, some more gauntlet drivers. Christian Russell finishes in the fourth position, and we believe this may be good enough to take the points lead. Russell was in the back for the majority of the race, found himself in a little bit of trouble, but was able to once again play his cards right and finish well within the strategy. Seishin Tomioka finishes in fifth, the third of the gauntlet drivers to finish within the top five, and the last of the gauntlet drivers to actually finish within the points. Tomioka gets himself a good haul, keeping himself within reach of the points lead as well. That will definitely benefit him going into the second half of the gauntlet. Riley Hill gets himself a good finish despite getting himself involved in some trouble. Alrighty, Alejo, another driver involved in some wrecks as well, goes into seventh. Ben Crouch finishes in 8th, followed by Priya McShane in 9th, and Miles Mashburn in 10th. Again, some guys that got themselves into some trouble, but kept their heads down, kept persevering, and was able to get themselves a good top 10 finish. Finishing inside of the top 15, just outside the top 10, we'll see the likes of Kenneth Williams, Christian Vargas, another guy who got around, along with Adam Wilson, who spun out, Cody Goforth as well, and Devon Fair was able to manage and hang on to the last point-paying position. Just outside of the points would include the likes of Dylan Hayden, the 90 of Landon Loudenbach, getting his best career finish actually in 17th in his return since race 4. And we'd see the likes of John Ritson, despite leading, having the lead, coming to the line on the last lap. He was not able to win this race. Ritson looked primed to steal the win away from John McFadden, who finished just behind him in 19th. McFadden dominated, led majority of the race, but unfortunately not able to cash in on those points, as he is going to finish outside in 19th. JQ Halleck, another driver who ran up front majority of the day, unfortunately her result is not going to show for it, finishing in the 20th position. Just outside the top 20 is going to include the likes of Cam Wright Sr., Brett Bishop, a guy who was primed to get some points today, a gauntlet contender who needed them, unfortunately not going to get some points. Michael Canaday had a good run, but not going to show for it. Weston Roper finishes 24th, and Leland Hill will finish 25th. Roger James 26th, Roberto Crown Jr., and Chris White, 2 gauntlet contenders who unfortunately were looking for something more. Again, Roberto Crown Jr., just one of those drivers who did not play his cards right, got involved in a little bit of trouble, and it's going to cost him, and unfortunately not going to have a shot at taking that points lead like he thought he was going to have. Josh Moore and Solomon Sheridan will round out the top 30. Just outside of those top 30 positions would include the likes of James Fletcher, David Dixon, and Ethan Hayden. Hayden, another gauntlet contender, got involved in some trouble towards the end, got in that 4-car wreck on that second to last lap, which included David Dixon's, Devon Fair, and unfortunately took him up out of the running. He was looking to potentially score some points, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so, and it doesn't look like he's going to hang on to the gauntlet lead. Those who DNF include the likes of Carl Untesweffer, Blake Parker, Nelson Reeves, Jeff Bolton, Alexander Rowe, Zachary DeLello, and Owen Scott. Scott, one of the gauntlet contenders, who unfortunately out of the race early due to that gigantic crash that involved the likes of Jeff Bolton, taking him out early on, and definitely ending his hopes at the gauntlet. Good bit of those drivers caught up in some wrecks and messes in the race. And then finally, Justin Henley, the last the finishing gauntlet contenders, he would unfortunately be caught out early along with Herbert Oakes. Those would be the final of those who would not go on to finish the race. All right, before we wrap things up, let's go ahead and take a look at how the gauntlet standings are shaping up going into the next race. With this now, Christian Russell will reclaim the lead of the gauntlet, scoring now at 245 points to his name. Seishin Tomioka has been able to jump himself up into the second position with his 5th place finish, and is just 11 points behind of Christian Russell. Ethan Hayden, unfortunately not able to score any points, will now fall 19 points back from Christian Russell's lead. Ruben Gonzalez able to claw in, finally scoring his first points in the gauntlet, tying himself with Roberto Crown Jr. They both sit at 23 points back from the leader. Crown Jr. had himself a pretty good race, despite getting into a little bit of some trouble early on. Managed to stay in the top 10 most of the race, but that late race, last lap pit stall, just pit mess up between the majority of the leaders, costing him a good bit of points and the opportunity to potentially be in the lead or closer to it. Chris White, 1 point off of him as well, to 22, just not having as good of a race as he needed to, and as a result going to find himself 24 points on back. Brett Bishop, another one of those drivers who found himself in the top 10 the majority of the race, looking to have a good run, but unfortunately luck did not fall their way, and Bishop will now fall 29 points back off of Christian Russell's lead. Justin Henley, having himself a bad day, falls 35 points off of the lead of Christian Russell, and James Fletcher finds himself even further back, 39 points back from the race leader. Still technically within a 1 race points distance between himself and Christian Russell, but if he wants to make up that gap, he will need to be able to get a grand slam, score 40 points in a race, and have Russell not score any points within the next race at least. So Fletcher, Henley, Bishop, and a lot of those other guys, they're going to have a good bit of work to do to be able to claw into that lead. Right now as it stands, Owen Scott is the first driver to fall out of a race's length between himself and the points leader. There's still a little bit of time, but Owen Scott is going to really need to pick up the pace and the intensity and just have some more luck go his way, as he got taken out lap 1 in this race. Just if he had Indianapolis go right for him, he would not be looking at such a bad position as he is in right now. 44 points off of our points leader, Christian Russell, as Owen Scott has only scored 1 point so far since the beginning of the Championship Gauntlet. 4 races down in the Championship Gauntlet, just 4 to go, as our next event will be at the New Jersey Motor Speedway for the TailGreeter 400. You will not want to miss it. It's going to be a big and very exciting event. The championship battle continues to heat on. Thank you once again for tuning in. As always, be sure to see us at the next race for some more Power V8 Cup Series action.